You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
No game for the Tigers this week, but there's still plenty to be accomplished during the bye. We'll sit down with Coach Silverfield and some key players to discuss the season so far and look ahead to a huge home showdown against UCF. It's the Ryan Silverfield Show. Let's go.
The game is on.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. When you've got car trouble, you want help from number one. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And by Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams.
8 games down, still 4 to go as the Tigers arrive at their bye. Let's sit down with Coach Silverfield to discuss everything and anything Memphis related. All right, Ryan, we're at the bye, 4-4. Just how would you sum up the season so far?
Yeah, obviously disappointed with the record right now. You talk about, playing the season in certain segments and how you go about certain things. And, reality obviously didn't like the start versus Mississippi State. And then everyone in question said, okay, how will this team respond versus Navy? To place it, we'd only won one time before, went out there and got a good win versus Navy. And then we're able to string some wins in varieties of ways, especially in our home stretch versus some conference opponents, some non-conference opponents, but being able to play quality football in a variety of ways. And that was what you wanted to see, is just, hey, this game, the offense stepped up. This game, the defense stepped up. This game, the special teams did some good things. And then obviously, lately we haven't been playing our best football. And it's really the consistency that's disappointing to me. We've got to be better on special teams. I make no bones about it. It hasn't been what we wanted. Some people said, hey, we got to start faster. Then we start fast and not finishing games. And then, obviously in the Tulane game, we didn't start at all. And then we were able to finish and find ways at least to battle. And here's the one thing is the guys in the locker room, they believe, they fight, they care. So this team is not lost. They've got the goals, their hopes, their dreams. They're still fighting and understand what's at stake still ahead of them. But we got a lot of things to improve upon. We all know it, and it starts with me, and we'll get it fixed.
Let's hit on a bunch of different topics. Let's start with Seth. Obviously, big expectations coming into the year. His numbers look really similar to what they did last year, which is obviously not a bad thing. How would you evaluate his play so far?
Yeah, look, Seth is one of those guys. He has gotten better. And even though statistically it may say, well, he hadn't done this or hadn't done that, but Seth is doing things at a very high level. He's very productive. He's using his feet better. He trusts himself. The reads are there. And he won't admit it, but I'll be the first to admit some of those interceptions just off of paper, if you look at stats only, well, they've been from drop passes, missed routes, things of that nature that need to get corrected. And it takes everybody, right? The offensive line protecting better, people catching the balls that are thrown to him. And he's also had some misreads himself. So, if we talk about consistent play, it starts at the quarterback position. He's doing some really good things, but he's really expected to turn it up these next 4 regular games.
Who are some names that have surprised you so far?
Well, no real surprise. We know that, our big tight end, Caden, has done a great job, and we had high expectations going for the season, but we understand what he's capable of. And the nice thing is the rest of the country is able to see it, put on display on Saturdays. And then, just continue to see some of the guys. We've had a variety of different guys at the defensive back position. We've actually played 13 different defensive backs at corner and safety, not necessarily a number that you want. I mean, that's a little too high. That means you're getting into your 4 deep at certain positions there. And so, but it is good to see different guys getting that experience. It will pay dividends for the rest of the season as well.
Special teams, you hit it on before. Some good, some bad. Obviously the good, Chris Howard has come in and stabilized the kicking game. How refreshing has that been for the program?
Yeah, look, Chris Howard has been absolutely phenomenal. We knew our struggles in our kicking game last year, and it's one of those things you don't shy away from. Coaches, we don't sit there and say, well, this, that. There's a lot of things that can be blamed. But our kicking game wasn't where it needed to be last year. Chris Howard's come in and done a fantastic job. If I could find some wood to knock on, because he's been excellent in his extra points and field goals. And one of those things, we continue to have high expectations. And it also helps yourself as a play caller, right? Coach Cramsey and myself and everybody involved in the offense, we've got full faith that, okay, hey, if we get into the red zone, we've got points. Now how can we execute a little bit better?
Now, on the topic of defense, obviously some of the coverage units and whatnot, probably not where you want it to be. What is the focus in that regard moving forward the rest of the way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our coverage units have been very poor. And it's been disappointing, and I've got to find a way to get it fixed. We as a staff and the entire program, the organization understands the importance of coverage units, right? Whether it's a the punt team and covering down, and it starts with protection first, the punt, and then the coverage unit itself, and then same with kickoff coverage. And obviously, those have been detrimental to us, and we've got to find ways to get our best players on those units to be able to run down, play with a physical mindset, and go make the play when it's needed. Obviously, we've had turnovers throughout. We even talk about our punt return game, and that's also been an issue that we've got to be able to own the football in all scenarios.
Two new coordinators, Tim Cramsey on offense, Matt Barnes on defense. How has your working relationship with each of them grown throughout this season?
Yeah, it's been phenomenal, right? You can always hire guys, and interviewed plenty of guys for both positions, and I feel like we got the right fit. They've been great. They've been huge additions to what we want to do here in our football program, but you never know what it's really like until your feet are held to the fire. And they've been great this season. They've got a firm understanding of what we want this to look like. They great buy-in from their players, and so the communication, the relationship continues to increase week in and week out, not only with me, the rest of the staff, but our players as well. And I think as you continue to do that, and it may not always show up in the win column, but I think we're seeing, the growth in those units in a variety of different ways. And again, the biggest way you can show it is by winning and statistics on a Saturday, but it's paying dividends, and we'll continue to grow in the right direction there.
You've talked about playing a full 4 quarters. It's looked good at times the last couple weeks, but hasn't come together for a complete game. What does that look like? How do you accomplish that?
Yeah, and I think part of that is just a consistent focus from everybody that's on the field, in between those white lines, right? It's one thing to go out there and have a great plan and to be able to practice it, and it always starts right with practice, and that will never change, right? Our Tuesday practice, our Wednesday practice, where we get after it, we're grinding it out. That focus has to be immense throughout those times, right? Every detail matters. Everything's so important. It may be the second play of the game, it may be the 72nd play of the game, but every play that occurs is going to have a direct impact on the score. So you can't there and say, well, it was only the second play of the game, it doesn't matter, because that may have been the difference, right, between a 1-point game. And so being able to play 4 quarters of football and consistently is what great teams are able to do. And it's not just one phase, right? Offense, defense, and we-fence have to come together and find ways to do things. Now, if you're playing 4 quarters of great football in all 3 phases, you're going to win every game. But the ebbs and flows of a game, right? How can you do it? Okay, if you go with 3 and out on offense, well, then guess what? You can't sit there and let that affect the next drive that you have as an offense. If the defense gives up a 12-play drive, well, guess what? Offense, okay, let's put it on our shoulders, go find a way. And conversely, right, if the offense gets a 3 and out, defense now, all right, no, woe is me. No, let's go out there and get a stop and find a way. And we got to continue to do better things. These last few games, the biggest thing that's hurt us is we've had 7 turnovers and 1 takeaway. And you look at the losses, and that obviously that's instrumental in what's occurred.
Still 4 games left. That's a third of the season. A lot of ball still in front of you. What's the message to the guys in that locker room the rest of the way?
Yeah, like I said earlier, the great news is the guys keep believing they're fighting. So that's not one of those deals. This isn't a rally cry to go find a way to keep practicing hard and to believe. That's the one great thing is these guys are dialed in, ready to practice, ready to find ways to improve. And what I've done is I've challenged 185 people in our football program, starting with myself, is what's the one thing that you can improve upon? And I asked the coaches, hey, tell me something they can improve upon. I've asked everybody in our staff, every player from our starting quarterback to the 3rd string linebacker, what's the one thing you can improve upon, and find a way to work on that. And if we do, and all 185 people within our organization do that, we'll be able to move forward in the right direction. Now, we need to continue to push. We need to continue to strive to have great success. We need to be dialed in and being all in on everything within our program. And if we do that, we'll look up at the end of Saturday's score and we'll like the results week in and week out, 1 game at a time.
You've heard from the coach, and coming up after the break, we'll sit down with some key players to discuss their outlook for the rest of the season.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
It hasn't been a perfect season for the Tigers defense, but they're going into the bye with a lot of momentum. Let's sit down with some leaders on that side of the ball. Quindell, obviously good to see you back out in the field against Tulane. Where do you feel like you're at health-wise right now?
I feel good. You're never going to be 100%, especially, this is a long season, so you're never going to feel 100, but I do feel good, like to where I am comfortable, my body's fine, just things like that. And like I said, you're never going to be 100, but body-wise, I feel good. I was glad to be back out there Saturday.
In the Tulane game, Seth talked about how you got the guys fired up at halftime after that 35-point first half you guys allowed. Then you guys only give up 3 in the second half. Do you feel like that could be a galvanizing moment for you guys going into this final stretch of the season?
Yeah, I mean, something like that, you know, just that motivation that, you know, I gave at halftime, you know, just making the guys realize, you know, how hard we worked these last, you know, 8 months just to play 12 games. So just trying to put it all in perspective and get the guys going. And I did that, and we showed what we could do, and we just responded in the second half. I wish we did in the first half as well, but you know, we came back and responded in the second half, and we just want to take that and run these last 4 games.
We talked before the season. For you, you said that this is it. This is the last ride. Last 4 games ahead of you. Just kind of, you ready to go out strong, ready to go out with a bang?
Yeah, I'm ready to go out with a bang. I'm just trying to enjoy all these moments with the guys, just every game, man, just taking it all in, because I know it's going to end these next 4. So right now, I don't really like thinking about it too much, because, you know, I probably get emotional a little bit, but just, you know, thinking about the time that I had here, just continue to fight with the guys, continue to have fun with them, and enjoy it and take everything in.
Do you think this bye, kind of given the way everything's been trending lately, came at the perfect time?
Yeah, it came at the perfect time. We say we can calm our heads down, just slowly get with the process and stuff, just regather ourselves and just understand we have 4 critical games left that we can really finish strong.
Where do you feel like the locker room is at in general right now with the motivation and things of that nature?
We still got a lot of guys all in, and that's the positive side of this team. So we know we're capable of doing it because we just seen how we played the second half of Tulane. So just keeping guys all in, just focusing ourselves on this bye week, and just getting better.
What is your focus of this week? What are you trying to accomplish?
Just getting better, man. These are my last 4 games of college, so me just trying to put the best thing on film and stuff. Just try to help this team just get to the bowl game, win our bowl games, or just finish it strong.
It's good, you know, it gives us time to just sit back and look at all the different mistakes that we've had during the season, and just realize, you know, we got 4 more games, and regardless of what happened the first half of the season, it's about how we finish the season. You know, obviously we didn't have the beginning of the season that we all wanted to have, but, you know, we could still do some of the things, the goals that we had, which is like make it to the bowl game. You know, we still fight for bowl eligibility.
How would you just sum up your thoughts on the way the defense has played overall?
I mean, I think we played well, but we didn't play nowhere near where we were capable of playing. You know, we missed too many tackles, and, you know, we couldn't get off field on third downs. We didn't finish games a lot. You know, we would start out fast, but toward the end we always lulled off, and that's one thing that kept us from being the good defense that we could be this year.
Switching gears to the offensive side of the ball, we sit down with some key figures over there to discuss what they've done well so far and how they want to improve. Eddie, obviously you're going into the bye with a lot of momentum on an individual level, coming off your first career multi-touchdown game. Just how thrilling was that for you?
Oh, it was fun. Got a chance to showcase my talent, showcase what type of playmaker I am, things like that. So it was a good experience. Now to move on to the next.
Where do you build off from there?
Just keep coming to work every day. We got a standard. That standard is focusing on the now, not focusing on the past. Coach Cramsey like to say a lot, next play. So focus on the next play, just keep moving forward. We got UCF coming up, big game at home.
How are you attacking this bye week? What are you focusing on to try to improve to get yourself set up for this stretch run?
The little things that I kind of messed up on when I was in the first 8 games of the season, honestly. Some mishaps, nothing crazy, things that could be fixed. So just focusing on those and perfecting my craft every day like we usually do.
We're at the bye, and you've had one of the best seasons of any tight end in college football across the country this year. You have to have kind of outperformed your own expectations, though.
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely outperformed my own expectations. I really just wanted to do whatever I can to contribute to the team, whether it was catching the ball, blocking, or whatever, but I've definitely outperformed what I expected of myself.
Speaking of the team, what is your sense of the pulse of the locker room right now?
Yeah, we've been through some adversities the last couple of weeks, but we know we have to get through that and just come together as a brotherhood and just keep growing closer and closer. We still got 4 games left, and we got 4 more opportunities to show what we can do.
What are you trying to get out of this bye?
Get healthy, stay healthy, get my mind right, and just get ready for another opportunity with UCF.
Obviously 4 games left, that's a third of the season, still a lot to potentially accomplish, including maybe a bowl game. So how fired up are you, and how motivated is the locker room still, you think, to accomplish all those things?
Yeah, I think we're still motivated because a lot of these dudes, like we have a lot of older dudes that only got 4 more, they might only have 4 more games of college football left, and we want another one with the bowl game. But so there's still a lot of confidence within the locker room. We just gotta, like I said, we just gotta go closer and try to win out and try to win the next 4.
Starting with your position group, just how do you feel like the offensive line has performed overall this season?
We've done good. We have a lot of room for improvement, but I mean, we've seen a lot of fronts, we've seen a lot of blitzes, and I feel like we've picked it up very well. Like I said, there's room for improvement. There's always room for that, but I think we've done good this season.
This recent tough stretch that you guys have gone through, a common theme in sports is overcoming adversity. Do you think that going through that can help you guys now finish this season strong after the bye?
Absolutely. I mean, we need to be tested. I think this was just a test for us, and I think we've shown ourselves that we can compete. We're beating ourselves, and we show if we just come together and we can come through it. And Coach Silverfield's big thing is stay the course. And we're staying the course. We're doing what we're supposed to. We're still all in. We're still, locked in. Everything we have is still in front of us. And so, got to come out and, dominate these last 4 games.
What kind of sense of pride do you think you guys showed on both sides in the second half against Tulane? Obviously, the offense puts up 28, defense holds them to 3. What did that say about you guys as a group?
In the halftime, Coach Silverfield talked, Quindell Johnson came in, we talked. And we just said, hey, the first half's not it, forget about it. Let's move on. Second half, play Memphis Tiger football, and that's what we ended up doing.
You're one of the leaders of the locker room. What is the sense you get of the pulse of that room right now?
We want to go out and win. We want to go win. We understand that we have what we need to do, to win, and we want to go win.
The Tigers are back in action at home against one of the perennial powers of the AAC. We'll preview UCF coming up next.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
UCF has obviously established themselves as one of the powerhouse programs in this conference. They're having another good year this season. Quite simply, what's the challenge they present?
Yeah, look, they're really talented. They've gotten a bunch of transfers. They got a bunch of SEC guys that they brought into their program. They play at a really high level. They play really fast. We know the challenges that we're going to face. Obviously last year going down to the bounce house wasn't the result we wanted. But we'll look back, COVID season, they came back up here. We had to come from behind win, a 50-49 win. We'll take any win, no matter what it looks like. If it's 2-0, 50-49 again, they're coming up to our place, and we're hungry to go find another way to beat them.
You hit on that game 2 years ago. I imagine that's got to be one of the most thrilling games you've been a part of as a coach, no?
I've been a part of a lot of heartbreaks versus Central Florida. At one time I was a grad assistant down there and had some success. To be able to get that first win versus UCF was huge, right? And obviously great memories from that, my first year as the head coach here. But look, every season's a new one, right? We've got to write our own story this year. We've got to find our own way to continue to find a way to, whatever it looks like, to beat UCF.
That was tonight's AutoZone Road Ahead. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination and official sponsor of Tiger Athletics. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Should be a good one in the 901 this Saturday. Stick around, we'll wrap things up. Coming up next.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here next Sunday for another edition of The Ryan Silverfield Show.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. Next time you need a car battery, just pick it up. Visit AutoZone.com and select same-day store pickup. Just one reason why AutoZone is America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And by Conway Services, official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.